Hello everyone, my name is Danielle Kinyon and I would like to welcome you to my career readiness presentation. Am I career ready? Am I ready to pursue my dream career? Well, let's find out. And just a vague outline of my presentation, I am going to be going over each of the worksheets that we were assigned. I'm going to go through a little brief history of me, how I've tasted other potential career fields, the people that influence my life, and then my team. And I'm going to sum it up with information I learned from my career report. I will do my best to just briefly sum up my life. Pretty much my whole life, I always remember working. And although I played a lot of sports as a child and, still am fairly active, working has just always been very important to me. Part of that is financially motivated. Even as a young girl, I just have always been obsessed with shopping. And when you're obsessed with shopping, you need a way to pay for all these things. And so as a little, entrepreneur, if you can even call a 7-year-old an entrepreneur, I was always looking for odd jobs, little side gigs to do when I wasn't playing sports. Of course, working for my family was always an easy way to make money. I remember being excited for fall because that meant the leaves were falling and then I could go and rake leaves. My house, my grandparents' house. My grandparents' house kept me busy because they had so many trees. I was always looking for ways to earn money. I cleaned houses for family members, and then my grandpa is a business owner, and so I worked for his company off and on for 11 years, starting as a pretty young child. So I pretty much just always remember having a job, and what it taught me is that hard work does pay off, and it really, it builds a lot of character when you have responsibilities even as a child, and then also earning your own money and purchasing something that you coveted. There's just something about it that makes the whole process even more rewarding. So work experience, I did work for my family business for off and on for 11 years. So I had quit the family business when I was 19, when I was promoted to a management position at a local coffee shop. The management duties, only allowed me to have one job, and then I also did that while attending school full time. So I was pretty busy then too, but not much had changed just because I've always been busy. So being busy is a good thing. I always strive to do that. One of my drawbacks that I have continued to do is I'm almost afraid of, I used to think that graduating meant that you were done learning. And so I've changed my major so many times that it's taken me a long time to graduate. However, I will graduate in May. But I finally came to the realization that just because you graduated doesn't mean you have to stop learning. So I haven't changed my major. I'm going to graduate in May. And but it's just learning. It's such an addicting thing. So I'm always looking for new learning opportunities as well. So that's history of me, and then part of just me and my tendencies. So I did the Take a Taste worksheet that was offered, and I really liked this because it's something that I've tried to incorporate, and so it was just really fun to reflect on those times in my life. So when I was in high school some time ago, I took the CNA course because it was offered after school for 2 hours a few days a week. And at the time I was really wanting to go into the medical field because I've just always really liked the idea of helping people, and it's a solid career. We're always going to need healthcare workers, and I'm really into science as well. And so I just thought, this is going to be great. I get to help people, and I'm going to have a stable career. And the CNA course was great because I think health is very interesting. It's something I like to know about. However, during the clinicals is what really sealed the deal for me. I could not do it. And I realized I didn't like the atmosphere. I didn't feel like I was genuinely, I really respect what nurses do. It's a tough job. Not everyone can do it. And I was just not made for that. But I'm really glad I took that course, in my teens. And so early on, I switched courses because I just knew that working in the healthcare field was just not for me. I don't like touching people, so that's a really big, roadblock for me. So I learned, just to find a different route, career route. So that was definitely invaluable, and it saved me a lot of time and money, so that was always good. And then for fun, I took a welding class. It wasn't an in-depth class, it was just some TIG welding, but I just thought it would be cool to learn, a skill like that. Obviously, in my life, I never used that skill ever again, but it was fun. It'd be neat to get into that a little bit more, but I also learned that welding isn't something that I wanted for my full-time career. It wasn't something that I would have enjoyed going to. Just the smell of metal, it's okay, but I don't think I could have done that a whole work week, And then also in my work history, I've managed small businesses. I was the manager of one and then assistant manager with my family's business. And what I learned through that is they were both in the service industry, and I just realized I didn't want to own a small business. I enjoyed managing, and I also just realized I didn't fully enjoy the service industry. I'm still in a form of that, however, it's different. So for example, I used to manage a coffee shop, and I loved it. It was great. But over time, I just realized that it wasn't something that I could wake up and be passionate about every day, because essentially it's the same thing every day. I needed a little bit more variety as far as like the actual work went, but it was still one of the best jobs I've ever had. I would recommend it to anyone. But again, it was a good time for me, because then I realized, like, hey, I don't think I want to start my own business. I'd love to manage one maybe for someone else, and in a different type of profession, but it's nothing that I necessarily wanted to do. So that was a great shift as well, and that was also a great learning experience. My influencers, first and foremost, are myself. I think we're all pretty hard on ourselves, and we expect a lot. So my goals are to move up in my career. I put a lot of pressure on myself for that. And then I'd also like to find a side hustle, something to just, earn some extra income on the side. That's obviously something I'd have to wait to do until I graduate. But with that in the very near future, it's something that continues to be on my mind more and more. And my family, they're also very big influencers in my life, but ultimately, they're proud of me when I work hard, and they want me to be happy, and that's pretty much all they ask for. And for my friends, I also have just an amazing friend group, and all they really care about is me being present in, their lives, because lives get busy, and it's really hard to keep in touch. And then, of course, loving them unconditionally, which we always try to, tell each other, hey, love you, thinking about you, and just try to be a positive light in each other's lives, because that's always just a good little uplifting thing we can do for each other. And then my team, at first I was thinking, well, that's my influencers, that's myself, my family, my friends, but really it's a whole separate work family that I have. I work with about 40 other people in my department. We help each other out, we answer questions, we build each other up, and we work together as a team. And then networking in the community, that's another team that just grows and expands, as the years go on. And then, of course, family and friends, as mentioned before. It's always great to just have all these people that you can call up if you need to, or offer support, advice, mentoring, all of that. It's just great. So my goals for future opportunities, work to my strengths, my interests, and that's to work hard in my current career and to just keep gaining knowledge and experience. I work in mortgage banking, and it takes years to fully learn the full ins and outs of the business, and people that have been in my department for decades are still learning things because regulations change. So it's always changing just enough that you never get bored. Another important piece of my puzzle is finishing my education. It's something I need to do, and I feel like once I do that, I will just be on fire, and I just need to not be afraid to reach for more, because that can be one of my drawbacks, is maybe I'm not ready or I don't feel like I can, but having my education completed will definitely help my confidence in that aspect. I think sometimes we get focused on the big picture and we forget to take in the little things. We can get overwhelmed by all of the goals that we want to accomplish in this big career. How do we get there? But it's really the small things that build and help create the big picture. So if you'll notice on my previous slides, there's this beautiful panoramic of a lake and some mountains, and if you look at it, you see the big picture. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, but if you look at each little individual tree, it's tiny. So in our lives, the building blocks may be small, but eventually they build up to create the big panorama, big picture of your career and your life. Thank you all for joining me today on my career readiness presentation. If you need to reach out, below is my email. I do not have a LinkedIn or a Twitter for my professional career set up yet, so email is the best way to reach me. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me today on my career readiness presentation. If you need to reach out, below is my email. I do not have a LinkedIn or a Twitter for my professional career set up yet, so email is the best way to reach me. Thank you.